The unknown journey will continue. VII Rebirth, the second game in the VII Remake trilogy, launches next winter on PlayStation 5. PS5, and it's 3 parts. It's a trilogy. And guess what? Guess what part 2 is going to be if it's a trilogy? Can you guess what part 2 is gonna be? Can you guess? Let's go! Part 2 in a thematic trilogy, as far as the story, is the part where the characters are at their lowest. Is the Empire Strikes Back of Final Fantasy VII. And get ready to see everybody suffer! Get ready, everybody's gonna suffer! Get ready! Oh, messages from the directors. Okay. From Nomura, as revealed on the broadcast, there are currently 4 FF7 projects in development in parallel. Each of the titles plays a different role. They are all connected throughout the high-quality depictions of Seven's world and characters. As someone who is involved with the development of each one of the titles, I deeply understand the vision and thought behind each project. I'm actively involved in the development process for all 4 titles. Cool. Rebirth is being designed so that people can enjoy this game whether they know the original game or not. In fact, new players might even enjoy starting their Final Fantasy VII journey in Rebirth. Cloud and his friends embark on a new journey in this game and believe that the scenes that they witness after leaving Midgar will give players a fresh new experience. I can't wait to share the intention behind the first title remake and the...
What do they call the next one?
Rebirth. They called me crazy. They said I was nuts. I can't wait to share the intention of the naming first title remake and the second title Rebirth. In time, I hope to reveal what the third title will be called, which is where the journey will ultimately lead. Revengeance. The development of VII Rebirth has been progressing rapidly since we adopted a new dev structure. The title of this scale, in which everything is interconnected even before production began, is truly rare. In fact, some development has already begun on the third title. I myself have started on the development and am working towards the completion of the series. So Nomura is already working on part 3 right now. And you know why? Because a lot of the open world shit, the bigger zones and world stuff is going to be relatively connected, you know? We will work to deliver this title to fans with the same amount of enthusiasm from now to reach the finish line. In the meantime, please enjoy the other 25th anniversary projects. They're giving us stuff to wet our whistle, which is nice, right? The coolest part about leading up to this game is that throughout the rest of this year, we got Ever Crisis Beta, as well as Crisis Core re-release. So the cool part is that leading up to VII Rebirth Part 2, there's gonna be a lot of shit. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff that's going to eventually be happening. And that lines up very well with their previous release windows. Jesus! Next! Fucking Jesus! Sorry, chat. I am so overjoyed that we're able to announce VII Rebirth, and I feel the strong sense of duty to deliver the ultimate 7 experience to the fans eagerly awaiting this game. The development has already entered full production, and the team is highly motivated to put everything together on the project to create a finished game. The VII Remake project will be a 3-part trilogy, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is much more than just one installment in the series. I'm a little excited. We are developing it with all the passion and dedication needed to create an original game and plan to deliver the ultimate gameplay and world-building experience. Trust me, it'll be worth it. And this is from Hamaguchi, who's the lead director now, who was the co-director on Part 1. Nomura is not the lead director anymore, and he's now the creative director. In fact, this dude was the co-director of Part 1, and we sort of were assuming that he was mostly like the lead director, but Nomura's name is a big weighty name behind Part 1, so he has to be in there. Outside of some parts in VII Remake, it doesn't feel very Nomurian. You know? It feels like very different throughout the majority of it, so it's mostly like the people that were running up from Part 1 are also leading Part 2. So from Kitase, we've officially announced the second title of VII Remake Rebirth. Fucking Jesus, I can't believe I'm saying this. Released next winter, 3 years after the original VII Remake released in April 2020. Damn, dude. Ads? God damn it, chat! I'm talking here! You're stuck in fucking ads! Really? Hurry the fucking shit! This being red, right? You have to understand that, like, art and intention behind giant multi-million-dollar projects all has a reason. This shit being red in comparison to the usual calming blues, I'm getting into some art direction shit here, is absolutely the fact that it's like dawning red. Oh, you know what that means, right? Red is usually not in association with positivity. It means that there's some dank shit gonna happen to our characters. It's also like meteor. I can't, are we out of ads yet? 3 years may feel like a long time for all fans. And by the way, 3 years is like In comparison, how we waited from the initial announcement to the actual release, that was 5 years. That's nothing, dude. For eagerly waiting the next game, but we want to offer the best experience possible to reassure everyone that development is proceeding at an astonishingly fast pace in such a large-scale HD title. Damn, Square is still talking about making HD games in 2022. That's how interesting some Square Enix development actually is. Making the middle part of a trilogy has its own challenges, but there are plenty of classic second installments in the world.
I don't fucking believe this shit! I don't believe this shit! Are you about to read that? Are you fucking reading what's on the screen right now? Are you reading it? Do you see what is right?
Let's just, how many times have I used the term Empire Strikes Back over and over again? Making the middle part of a trilogy has its own challenges, but there are plenty of classic second installments in the world of film that are defined by stunning story twists, and deeper explorations of their characters. Often, these second installments become a favorite amongst the fans. In the same vein, we are aiming to make VII Rebirth an even more gripping and memorable experience than VII Remake, so please wait a little longer while we finish up. Holy fucking shit, chat. You have to realize this isn't just a sequel, it's the second part of a trilogy. What is he referring to? Beloved classic second installments in the world of film that are a part of a trilogy. That he's absolutely referring to Empire Strikes Back. And that's what we've been predicting for literally years, that part 2 is going to be the Empire Strikes Back of FF7. What happens in part 2? The characters are essentially put through their worst. Which is why Kung Fu Panda 2, fucking shut up, chat! Which is why part 2 has to end at the most sour part of the game. And you would think it would be the passing of a beloved character, but I don't think it is. My crazy prediction that I have been predicting for a hell of a long time, now that we know this is going to be a trilogy, is that part 2 is going to be a big globe-trotting adventure. Part 2 is going to be all about traveling the world, big environments. Not actually, I don't think it will be open world, but I think it will be huge zones, similar to the way that sort of FF15 had really big zones, where I don't need it to be specifically open world. Wide linear is the word that I hate to use because of its memery, but it's absolutely what they should do, because that's kind of what the original FF7 is. But a globe-trotting adventure that is not going to end specifically at Nibelheim. And the fact that they're showing Nibelheim so early is because that's the beginning of the game. And I've been calling it since we beat part 1. The opening of Rebirth is going to be the Nibelheim flashback. You're essentially just starting the game with Cloud and Sephiroth in the back of a truck talking about stuff. And then you fight a dragon, and that's your tutorial. Your tutorial is the Nibelheim flashback, and essentially by the time the game starts, you're out into the real world, you know? It's in the fucking trailer. So I don't think this game ends at Nibelheim now that it's part 3. I don't. I think we're gonna meet Sid. I think we're gonna go to Wutai. I think the Golden Saucer. I think we're gonna go to Temple of the Ancients. Thematically, the best places to end part 2 is clearly at the one where everybody thinks it's going to end, right? Clearly where everyone thinks part 2 is going to end is where it's most likely going to end. However, giant, huge brain, right? End of disc 1 is what a lot of people are predicting, but here's my huge brain where they could actually go with this and what I think would be better. It would specifically be at the Northern Crater. Get characters to the top of the world, because that's where like the end of the Empire Strikes Back part of the story, in my personal opinion, would be better concluded. Because at that point of the game, this is some spoilers, specific main characters are presumed dead. Everybody's been split up. The bad guys are winning. Everybody's losing. The world is at an end. Tifa and Barret are in jail and about to be executed. Like, everything is insanely dour. And it's like the best spot to like stop right here. And then what is part 3? A giant kaiju hunting adventure. And then you get to now figure out combat. How do we fight the fucking diamond weapon and shit? How do we fight the Ultima weapon? Like, oh, I just can't fucking wait. It turns into Final Fantasy VII Monster Hunter at that point. Huge brain prediction, part 3 begins with the attack of Junyuan Harbor. It's perfect. That acts as like a great tutorial sequence, a big action set piece before your characters are set off on an adventure. And your characters are essentially set off on an adventure in part 3 to go find who? To go find your to go find your party. That's the part of the game that's like Final Fantasy VI, where everyone's scattered, everything's fucked. We have to get everyone back together and go fuck shit up. Let's fucking go. Oh god damn! If they pull this shit off. If they pull this shit off, it's going to be goddamn ridiculous, dude. What else can I look at? Give me something to look at. My DMs are flooding right now. My ass is on fire. Okay, big celebration shit. My eyes are blinded.
But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed. So focus on the future, not the past.
Oh my god! Focus on the future, not the past? And what do they show? This. The past. What happened before. We can change that. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, fuck. It's a sequel. Leading to the idea that the end of FF7 original was a bad ending. I just realized. Yeah, compass at the top of the screen. Very Horizon-esque looking compass with your destination that is very far away. Dude, this trailer is fucking trash. This quality can suck my ass. I can see the bitrate dying and they're barely moving.
What are you implying? That I died?
Cloud's memory of what happened to Tifa is all jacked up. Cloud is going to be remembering shit in part 2 that he doesn't realize what happened or not, and he's going to be suspecting everybody. That's an interesting take, right? Because that's not in the original. At the end of part 1, everyone's sort of buddy-buddy with each other. Like, the conflict that makes part 1 really good is sort of gone. So I was a little worried about that everyone's just walking down a road. We're chill with each other, right? Everyone's happy to be in this party. We're having a good time. It's rainy. Let's go sit at that inn and talk about shit. And I was kind of like, man, you know, I feel like the best part of the story of part 1 is the fact that everyone's at odds end with each other, right? That every character has their own interests and motivations and they're sort of colliding in many ways. That's what makes part 1 really good, because they figured that stuff out by the end. But now, they're now setting up for the fact that Cloud is seemingly doubting his own memories and doubting the people around him. That level of like paranoia that he has because he's truly fucked up could make part 2 super interesting. And that's a much different take than what is happening with the original game.
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard to find you.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
Oh, I'm trying so hard to find you? That dialogue is specifically from the date with Aerith, where you are sitting in the cart, where she keeps saying over and over again, I'm trying to find you, the real you. And Cloud doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, right? That's the Golden Saucer date. Max the White Feather. What about the White Feather? Huh? I mean, it's the same White Feather that sort of like is in FF7, right? You think this is Angeal's feather? Is that what that you're saying, that they were teasing Angeal at the beginning of FF7 in general? In 7 Remake? You think the white feather represents Aerith, who is opposite of Sephiroth? I mean, yeah. I think that's what I'm getting out of this. Everyone thinks he's like white feather Angeal. To me, it feels more like Aerith. You're playing as Sephiroth, 100%. Yeah, if anybody's curious, we predicted this multiple years ago. At the beginning of the game, you're gonna go through Nibelheim flashback in a tutorial sequence where you control Cloud and Sephiroth as a party together. And they will finally fulfill the 25-year-old like game facts argument. Is there a way to control Sephiroth in the original FF7 outside of using like a Game Shark? We said this several times where it's like, oh, you'll finally be able to control Sephiroth in a Final Fantasy game outside of Urguys or some shit. And you'll be able to play as him, you know? So yes, I mean, he'll either be an assist, but Cloud and Sephiroth will be teaming up because they're simpatico at the beginning of this flashback. Yeah, Audrey thinks it is also a reference to Angeal. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You know what, you're right, chat. I guess that would also make sense because why would they put out Crisis Core? Here's my only problem. Angeal's kind of a shitty character. Like, he represents something that's cool. He represents like this father figure to Zack type stuff in Crisis Core, but he is just a goddamn wet blanket of a character. That is, like, I want to like this guy, but he is insanely fucking boring. And he doesn't really get any, like, great moments or anything in Crisis Core. But here's the thing. We're not back in 2007 or 8 anymore, right? We're not back in the PSP era where they really didn't know how to, like, build characters outside of Zack, who's the only genuine great character in Crisis Core. I'm, like, thinking how they would approach Angeal with a modern take, right? And actually make him interesting? Maybe. We need a crazy whiteboard and red string. No, we don't. Now, no. We don't need the crazy ass like whiteboard and red string Kingdom Hearts shit. We don't need that anymore, right? Where I'm like the crazy dude pointing from this to this to this. No. No, we got fucking confirmed of all that shit. I don't need a whiteboard anymore. I need a college course. Now I'm like gonna be showing you guys how things actually are. So instead of this crazy asshole with his hair all fucking flipped out, pointing at shit, linking to this and to this, I'm going to actually be charging you guys a tuition fee about how to, this is Final Fantasy VII Remake Story 101. This is what they're doing. This goes to here. This goes to that. Now I'm gonna teach you guys what the fuck is going on because it fucking makes sense. Now things are working together. I'm now the Final Fantasy VII Linus Tech Tips. I'm gonna tech the tip out of you. Tech the tip the shit out of you.